What's up? Welcome everyone in the future that's gonna watch this. Since there ain't nobody here right now, that's all right. So today I just wanted to talk about some ideas I've been having, or just some things that have been on my mind with my other students, talking about wrist position and where our eyes are going and all that kind of stuff. Feel free to hit me up in the chat with any questions you might have, and you'll get this thing going. All right, so first topic was eye-hand coordination, and the first thing that really comes to mind is that when whatever exercise we're doing, right, whether it's like finger groups, right, or even just a scale, right, I want my eyes going to the strings, not to my right hand, right, because the strings aren't going to be moving, but my left hand is going to be. So even though I'm not even using my bar right now, I want to be looking at the strings somewhere down here and not at my right hand, because if I learn the scale having to look at my right hand, right now once I bring the bar into it, it's almost like I'm starting over again, because now I've got to focus, even if I'm not moving my bar. We want to just build that eye-hand coordination to where we have the tactile sense of our picking hand, right, on the strings, but my eyes are looking here, and I can relay where I'm looking the string 8 here and be able to feel it down here. Because when it comes time for me to move that bar, right, my eyes have to be going there. If I'm looking at my right hand, there's 0% chance I'm hitting it perfectly, right? And even if we are breaking ourselves from that habit, it just needs to be like a clean break, right? We don't want to like look at our right hand. Right now, look at my left and move up, and then go back to right. Right, because eventually, if that becomes the habit, or the habit, it's just going to slow me down so much having to look back and forth between my right hand and left hand whenever the bar needs to move. Even just something simple like this, half step increment finger groups. Just really focused on that bar hand. And if that's really difficult, the biggest tip I can give you is to just slow way down. I mean, I'm guilty of it too when I'm learning something new, trying to go too fast. It always helps having a teacher that can tell you to slow down, but just having that ability to tell yourself as well, right? After I pick that first finger group, whatever time I need to get set up right, without having to look at my right hand, and just staying focused on that left hand there for the bar move. All right. So the next little thing on that is, you might have noticed when I'm doing my finger groups, my bar is moving with me, right? It's moving up as I go up the strings. It's moving down as I go down the strings. So that's another way we can tell our right hand where it needs to be. And not only that, it's also a great way to block strings that aren't being played right now. If my bar's not on it, we're not going to get some of those overtones or whatever, right? If I just lay my bar there, there's a chance we'll get some like sympathetic notes in there. But also even with like a single note scale, I might cover the first few. But as I move up, I'll move the bar up. But doing our best to kind of follow along wherever we're picking. And if this is a new concept to you, definitely start with, maybe just kind of a half scale. I definitely like the finger groupings exercise for this just because there's not a lot going on with the right hand, so you can really focus on the bar position. Right, 5th string, 4th string, 3rd, 4th. Right, it's very concrete where the bar should end. Let me know if you have any questions with this so far. Not sure how many have joined so far. I might be by myself still. All right. So one thing, eyes want to be on the bar. We can use the bar to kind of tell our right hand where it needs to be. And then, of course, just going slow. Other eye-hand coordination things. So I guess we'll kind of move into the wrist position thing. So, okay, all right. I don't remember where I was going to go. Let me take something even thinner. We'll use like a pen. It'll be a bit easier to see. So the way I'm looking at the fretboard from my position, right, looking down this way, I sit at about around the 15th fret. Right, so this is the fret that's straight for me. As I look down the neck, right, the frets start to turn. Not as much as I'm showing with the pen. It's very slight. But as we get down here and right, my head turns, right, it looks like the frets slanted kind of like that is an exaggeration. All right, and let me move this right back to the 15th fret where I sit, and of course ever so slightly in the other direction, right, as I go up the neck. So when we're talking about wrist position, I'm not talking about like a permanent wrist position, right? If I'm even though I'm sitting at this 15th fret, right, my kind of natural 90-degree arm angle is probably actually right here around the 4th fret. And when I say 90, I'm talking about as we go down my arm, right, 90 degrees up to my shoulder, right, that 90 degree there. Or even like, kind of perpendicular to the guitar, right, there's a 90 there. So this wrist position is kind of my resting one, right? Now as I move down the frets, for me to stay what's technically in line with the fret is going to require more wrist slant. As I go up the neck, it's going to have to start going the other direction. Now I can bring my arm in a little bit on these and keep somewhat of a neutral wrist. As you can see, my wrist is starting to bend, right? I can, of course, adjust my seat position if I'm going to be playing higher. Right, and as we get, all the way up here, right, very extreme wrist angle. So my point is that it's not a static wrist position, right? If I were to try to keep that, right, that same wrist, as I start going down, now my bar's slanting backwards. Of course, even more obvious on the way up. Right, for me to keep that same wrist, I've got to really tilt the bar, which is, of course, bad, right? And as far as working on this, again, just nice, slow and controlled, like some chordal movement, right? What we just did, you could do a single chord. And you can even back your thumb off a bit so you can see the full fret. And doing our best to just line it up perfectly each time. And another thing is just kind of keep it loose, right? If we start grabbing that bar, really flexing the wrist, right? It's going to make it just a little bit, it's just going to make it stiff because you're stiff, right? Being able to keep just kind of a nice light wrist. And again, taking into consideration that what my eyes are seeing, right? My eyes seeing is that my bar is way behind the fret. But if I get my big head, we'll put my big head right there, right? If I put it right over that fret, I washed my hair yesterday, so you're welcome. It's right on top of it, right? But from my sitting position, it looks way behind. 12th fret, right? Get that big head over it and take a look. If you've never done this before, seriously, get up and take a look. See where your bar is. All right, it's right over the top. And so as we go down, right, it's going to be tighter with my vision between the fret and the bar here than it will be down here, right? Because I've got more of an angle going under that bar to see the fret underneath. Right, but again, if I go over and look at it, it's right on top of that fret. So that's another thing with just kind of perception of where your bar actually is. Same thing up here. And these ones up higher are definitely difficult, right? Because now we can't even see, not only can we not see the fret, we also have a really angled wrist position. And it can be hard to get on that fret just right. Luckily, usually when we're actually playing something up this high, we'll be playing along with a band or something. That'll give us a clue of where on that fret we need to be, right, to be in tune. The main thing is having that bar straight, right? Getting a nice look at it. Right, so that even though I can't see the fret, I hear that it's in tune, and as long as my guitar's in tune, the rest of the chord is going to be in tune, right? Because yeah, no matter how much time we spend tuning, right? If I'm hitting that fret wrong, right? I'm super flat on the fret, right? It's not going to matter how in tune you are. So this is if this is new for you, definitely spend some time lining that bar up. Take a look, see where it is. Right, Anybody have any questions so far? Am I by myself? I don't even know. Somebody else is here. I see you. Let me know if you have any questions. Those were kind of the main points I wanted to talk about. And I can't remember if there was anything else. I'll play around for a second, see if anything else comes to mind before we call it. Even take like a harmonized scale, right? Because harmonized scales, we're covering a lot of the fretboard, right? And again, the distance between what I see the fret and the bar as is going to change as we go up the neck. So when we get here, it's almost like it's right on top. Shoot. Look over here, I'm like right on top of that sucker. And again, watching that wrist angle as we go up. Just nice, slow and control, just like that. Maybe a little tip when you're working your way down on those where the fret's kind of invisible, right? When I got that, the hand kind of packed together right there, spread those fingers out. Not only does it give you a line of sight to the frets, it also can help kind of guide you to where the bar needs to go. Might be a little advanced if you're just starting out with this, but it never hurts to start from the beginning, right? Just get it in there. It'll definitely suck at first trying to get all those things, coordinated from the start. But just doing your best, right? And again, keeping the bar. If I'm playing 3 and 5, I got the bar on 3 and 5. I got the bar on 6 and 5. If I'm picking 6 and 5, I got the bar on 6 and 5, right? Or if I'm doing 10 and 6. Really the biggest jump in wrist position as far as on the way down. Right there. Yeah, so even with the lick kind of like that. That one's was it 5, pedal in, 1, 5, 4, 5, off, 6. That's a good one for getting that bar up top, right? As I'm pedaling in, I'm reaching up for that first string. And then as I'm going back to 5 and 4, bringing it back to 5 and 4. Because if I miss that block, right, by bringing that bar off, right, it's going to mute it. And then bringing the bar back up to cover that 3, 4, 5. All right, I guess that's kind of it. All right, y'all. Well, that was, yeah. I guess that was about it. A little short discussion on wrist position, hand coordination. If y'all have any tips, if you're a more experienced player, let us have it in the comments. Let us know some tips that have helped you with your left hand. But anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.